Hi there, students. Capitalism, a noun, an uncountable noun. Capitalist, a person or an adjective. So, money makes the world go round, the world go round, the world go round. Money, 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 money. So, capitalism, what is it? It's an economic and political system in which private people own business and property and industry. The businesses and industries are controlled by private individuals rather than by the state. And in capitalism, the purpose is to make a profit for the private individual. So she wrote that capitalism was devastating the environment. Free market capitalism and personal responsibility. So a system where a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners. So an era of free market capital, of free market capitalism. It comes from capital in English. Capital from French, capitalism. From Indo-European, caput, the head. So private ownership is or money is the head of the system. It's based on private ownership of the means of production and their operation. And it's a system that has various different ways. You could have laissez-faire or free market capitalism. That lets everybody do whatever they want. You could have state capitalism, in which the state owns businesses and nationalizes state-owned enterprises. Or welfare capitalism, that includes policies and the practice of business providing welfare services to their employees. So initially, when factories started, the workers were very put upon. They weren't well treated. But as time went by, the factories and the companies started to provide different benefits for their workers, particularly health benefits. So Marx argued that capitalism could not be patched up in order to make it a fair system. He said it was always going to be something that was never going to work. They saw this as a chance to create a third force between capitalism and communism. We could also look to Adam Smith as the father of modern capitalism. So private individuals or corporations control production, and the only thing they want is profit. They determine the prices, the distribution, and the price of things is very often dictated by the supply and the demand. With capitalism, the profit is what makes things go round. As I said at the beginning, money makes the world go round. So it's the demand for consumers with competition influencing the prices of goods. The motivation is money. And there are market forces. Prices, production and the distribution of goods are determined by the forces of supply and demand. And the role of government in a purely capitalist model is very limited, but that's something that can vary in practice. It's characterized perhaps by the freedom of private individuals and businesses to invest and operate their property for profit. Many argue that capitalism, with its emphasis on individual incentives, has been a driving force for economic development and innovation. I think if you're rich, it's easy to be a capitalist. If you're poor, it can be very difficult. So under the system of capitalism, a factory's ownership and the goods it produces are controlled by private enterprise. Okay, but I think one of the major concerns is inequality. Also, perhaps environmental concerns are perhaps a negative side of modern capitalism. Okay, so capitalism, yeah, a system where business and industry are controlled and run by private owners. In capitalism, prices and wages are determined by supply and demand. Free markets are a key characteristic of capitalism. Entrepreneurship is a driving force in capitalism. Consumers have the power to make choices in the market in a capitalist system. Some argue that capitalism leads to excess consumerism. So, formality, capitalism. It is what it is. I'm going to give it a 5 in formality. Use it anywhere. So, capitalism. Bye for now.